Ladies and gentlemen, the season may be over, but we're not done yet. We still got one more show on us. Cannon, I haven't decided if this is going to be the last episode of our fifth season or if it's going to be like a winter break, like bad dramas do on ABC and stuff, where they take like 2 weeks off in the middle of the season.
Well, we can decide on that now or later or whatever.
We can get to it later. It's really just semantics. It does not matter at all.
No.
But I was just curious about it. We could also do like kind of what the Lion King did at one point. I remember they had the Lion King 2 and then the Lion King 2.5, which is just what Timon and Pumbaa were doing that whole time.
Yeah, that's a good point. That could be.
So we could do something like that, but we'll figure it out. But we have news to get through, and of course, the Tailgate Awards, the inaugural Tailgate Awards. But before we dive into those, Bill Belichick.
Yes.
It's an NFL story, but he's coaching at UNC, so we're going to talk about it. What on earth is the Pro Football Hall of Fame doing, Ciarnan?
Probably the same thing that the NCAA are doing, ruining their own credibility.
That's true. For those who did not see and are living under a rock, Bill Belichick is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Some people are pointing to the scandal. Some people are pointing to the fact he wasn't successful without Brady. He led the Cleveland Browns to the playoffs.
Yeah.
First ballot.
Yeah. That's really all you needed.
Yeah. And it's reached a point where the Pro Football Hall of Fame felt the need to put out a statement saying, if you're not following our bylaws, we're going to kick you out. We're not going to allow you to vote on this going forward. Reports are Bill Polian, former GM of the Bills and Colts, kind of was schmoozing a little bit, talking to some other voters, saying, I really think he should sit out a year because of the scandals. And then he very vehemently denied it to a point where it's a little suspicious. Like, no, the Hall of Fame confirmed that I voted for Bill, which you shouldn't need them to confirm that. You should just go, yeah, no, I voted for him. I think it's ridiculous that he's not in.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I also don't think Bill's hurting too much.
Oh, God, no. God, no. Because, like, here's the thing, right? If you want to argue what he's doing right now with Jordan Hudson is weird, 100% agree. Is it creepy? Definitely. Is it illegal? No. As far as I'm concerned. The whole thing with the scandals, Deflategate and Spygate. The Spygate, I legitimately just think he was bored, and because it was the Jets. I think if it was any other situation, that would never have happened. The Deflategate, it's pretty clear that he didn't even know about it. Or even if he did, he just didn't care. And also, a team doesn't go out and beat another team by 38 points, and it's just like, oh yeah, the slightly under-deflated footballs that only the managing crew knew about.
I give Bill Belichick a little bit of credit. I think he knew about Deflategate. I do think Bill Belichick has a rough understanding of the ideal gas law.
Yes,
a rough understanding of it. So yeah, it's ridiculous. It's dumb. Bill Polian is just pissed off that he is a known loser. He had prime Peyton Manning won one Super Bowl, and he was also GM of the Bills. That should really tell you everything you need to know about Bill Polian. He's the reason why you can't touch a receiver now, because the Patriots were too rough on little old Marvin Harrison and little old Reggie Wayne. So we need to make some rule changes now because they're being mean. And then the Patriots went out and kicked the Colts' ass even worse the next year. Bill Polian's a bitch. He needs to get off the voting committee immediately. I don't know why we're listening to a known loser like this.
It's a great point. And also the fact that this has everybody on the same side for the first time in a long time. Every single person across all of the sports networks agreed that this was a terrible decision, right? He has 3 separate careers that are Hall of Fame worthy within one 20-year span. He does. That's a given fact. And it's insane. It's insane that we have to come on here because 2 or 3 people voted for him to not be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Great content because we could talk about it all day long, But it's like, you guys are just, first of all, you're delaying the inevitable. He'll get in next year or whatever. Or the fact that it's a pointless, petty snub.
Yeah, no, 100%. It was more than 2 or 3. It was 10 at least. You need 40 out of 50. My buddy Peter did send me. He said I need my tinfoil hat back on because he is the truth about Bill Belichick. It's definitive proof the NFL rigging the past 7 years for the Chiefs. Goodell can't stand Brady and Belichick were so good and didn't respect him during the bogus Deflategate scandal. He's not a Patriots fan, by the way, and he got really into this, which is why in Mahomes' second Super Bowl, they pushed the narrative that he was catching Brady. Every year they get all the calls in close games, including handed a Super Bowl against the Eagles. But Brady's legacy isn't touchable, so they did this to try and humiliate Bill. Andy Reid will get in first ballot, and they will use it to diminish his legacy and elevate Mahomes and Reid, who Roger Goodell doesn't hate. It's all about the Pats.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of right.
He's a Giants fan, by the way.
Wow.
So if Giants,
I think it would have been worse.
Well,
it would have been worse if it was the Jets, but the Giants are pretty
That's
bad.
true. I mean, Giants, he was their defensive coordinator for a bit, but yeah, so Pro Football Hall of Fame is absurd. Okay, you want to move on to actual college topics now?
Yeah, let's go on.
All right. This news that sort of, or not rocked college football, but was a big attention. Quarterback Darian Mensah has joined the Miami Hurricanes after his legal battle with Duke. Someone close to the situation said the settlement was pretty big. Okay, what are your thoughts on this whole thing?
It's tough to justify anything anymore because, like, on one hand, good on the college football players for, standing up for themselves, earning the cash that they rightly deserve. And another thing where it's like the chaos that these transfers are ensuing is going to lead to something crazy. I don't know what it is yet. I don't know what legal document or doctrine is going to come out of this, but it's wild to think that this is happening more and more each week, it seems like. And I can't even keep up with it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I do think some, like you said, some legal things can come out of it. I think it's going to be sort of a list of agreements that you put in place between two parties to make sure, you're both on the same page, make sure everything's sort of followed. And then if you don't follow what is written down on that piece of paper that you both signed, if you break that, then there are going to be some hang on. I'm being told that is called a contract that all these student athletes are signing and then hitting the port. That's not how this works, guys. I have been very pro player movement and player freedoms during this entire podcast run. But if you sign a contract, you lose any leg up you have, any moral high ground, if you then break that contract. And another thing, this is now, I think, 2 or 3 years in a row where Miami in the portal is doing something a little fishy. And Ole Miss does the same, so this isn't just a Miami thing. But I don't see how Miami fans can view this as a positive if their teams, because once again, listen, man, Dabo's already talking about going after Ole Miss for tampering. I cannot wait for the day where someone goes after Miami for this blatant tampering they're doing, and they have to try and defend it and go, well, no, everyone's doing it. It's not that bad.
Yeah. I'm getting to the point where I kind of miss the days of like the death penalty and things like that for college football programs. And while I don't think that was the right way to go about it, I think more restrictions or penalties need to be put on these teams, but not 10 years down the line after it's already happened, right? It's almost blatantly prevalent that it is actively occurring. And the NCAA is doing nothing about it. And you're just like, okay, so what is even the point of you? If you can't prevent things like this that are happening right in front of your face, it's not even like it's under the table and like a particular recruiter got really, really good at, either siphoning funds or paying for things. That's one thing. But the fact that it is open and just right out, and it's like in the media within 30 seconds of it happening, that's a legitimate problem for the sport and for the colleges.
I don't disagree. I think also, though, part of the issue with the NCAA currently is once they could no longer hold payment over a player's heads, they lost all power they had. That's the only thing they had. That's why they made up the term student athlete. That's why they dealt in wage suppression for 100 years. And so they had something to hold over these players, and now they don't. So there's nothing they can do about it. It's ridiculous, and I do complain a lot about how college football is dead, but it's squarely on the NCAA's shoulders for not being proactive with anything in their history. And you brought up the death penalty. I do think with a little backdoor tampering, I'm not gonna say, well, you should get the death penalty, but if it's as blatant as Pete Golding messaging a recruit after he's already enrolled at Clemson, hey, what's your buyout? Hey, I'll double my previous offer. I think you should get some pretty harsh punishments for that.
Yeah, and it, we give a lot of flack to Dabo Sweeney, but in this case, he is 100% in the right. He basically told, from my understanding of the story, is he was told by, I don't know if it was the AD or one of his assistants, something like that, but basically that the agent for Luke Farrelly reached out to him and said, "Hey, Ole Miss is really looking at this guy. Is there anything we can do?" They brought it to Dabo Sweeney. Dabo Sweeney said, "Absolutely not. Like, he's already got an apartment. He's already enrolled in classes," or whatever the thing was. And, a conversation back and forth, or 2 or 3 days later, he's like, "Yeah, I'm transferred to Ole Miss." He was already in Clemson. Like, he was already there. He had an apartment, everything. And he's like, "Oh yeah,
he was in classes."
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. Like, that's the insane thing. It's like Dabo's just at the point he's going, no, like you're actively enrolled in this school. And for once, I'm with them. I'm 100% with them. I'm like, yeah, you can't do that. I don't care. Like, it's just bonkers. I don't even know. I don't even know what we're gonna do anymore.
I already don't like Pete Golding. I hate him even more now that he's making me agree with Dabo.
Oh yeah,
Farrelly
that's
also
the other thing.
went back to Clemson and was like, "Hey, Ole Miss is really coming at me. I'll turn over all the evidence if you give me a second year and another $1 million on the contract I have already signed." Clemson said no, and then he transferred. Dabo's comments on it: "We have a broken system. If there are no consequences for tampering, then we have no rules and we have no governance. It's that simple. This is not about a linebacker at Clemson. I feel sorry for the young man. I blame the adults." Yeah, it's little Clemson. Once again, their coach is just too good of a guy to be tampering. I'm making a joke just because of Dabo, but no, it's a serious problem, and someone needs to do something.
Yeah, but you look at this and you're like, the NCAA is there. Like, surely they should have protocols in place for this sort of stuff, or requirements of some description. And you're right. The fact that they lost the ability to hang the whole payment structure over the athlete's head. But like, there's still other rules. There's still other rules for colleges, ADs, teams, things like that. And I'm shocked that they're not doing more about it. Just anything, like even a statement at this point from the NCAA would be better than not doing nothing.
Yeah,
it can be follow as they want, but it would be better than nothing.
Yeah, no, it would be. It's gross. I hate it. I hate what college football has become. And yeah. But the NCAA, Ciarnan, they are doing some stuff. They are not being completely useless. They're looking at targeting rules, something we've been asking for forever, for it to be a little less punitive. And initially the rule was just set up, just to protect players. It was always a 15-yard penalty. They added the ejection after the fact, and now they're looking at taking that away potentially. Ciarnan, what were your thoughts on the change to the targeting rules?
Thank goodness, because some of the calls that have happened over the past couple of years where players were getting ejected because they got twisted up in a tackle and the guy already had forward momentum and hit him with the crown of his head and this, that, and the other thing. And every team has had at least one of those in the past 5 years. And you're just like, thank you, right? Because you can't stop, 275 pounds of mass moving at, say 15, 16 miles an hour. You can't stop that on a dime. I'm sorry he got wrapped up in a tackle. Or he slipped or he went to go die for something or something like that. Like, you can't stop mass that quickly. The rule was completely unfair to begin with. And the administering of it was taken as a absolutely an absolute de facto statement that if you hit with the crown of your head, you're ejected. And you're just like, physics is a real thing, guys. It actively plays a part in the game of college football.
Yeah, no, I go back and forth on this because I feel with some rules, they're going to want to start looking at intent. Like,
right.
If a defensive back rounds the corner, it just launches themselves at the quarterback's head.
Yes,
like
that
a
is
Patriot
different.
missile. Okay, yeah, throw him out of the game, throw him in jail. And then if it's just, guys going down, someone's already going in for the tackle, they hit, that's obviously not. But then if it gets really ticky-tacky, oh, well, we think he was trying to injure the player. Or no, it's just going to cause more arguments. I feel like with how punitive it is now, which I do think needed a change, there was really no gray area. I feel like this is going to bring in a lot of gray area, which is just going to lead to more people arguing online.
Great. More stuff for us to talk about.
That is true. But yeah, so I'm glad the NCAA is doing something instead of just going with every single issue that comes across Charlie Baker's desk.
Yeah. Good.
The NCAA is kind of like that Biden meme that went around for the last couple of years. Like, man, it's really messed up out here. Someone should talk to the guy in charge. Yeah. That's the NCAA for their entire history.
Yeah. You know the phrase, not my circus, not my monkeys? It very much is your circus, and it very much is your problem to deal with. Like, you are actively doing nothing about it, despite glaringly obvious problems.
Yeah. No, it's abysmal. I hate it. I don't like what college football is becoming, but I'm glad they're doing something. Ciarnan, do you want to get into what we came here for, though?
Let's do it.
It's time for the inaugural Tailgate Awards presented by Tailgate on the Quad.
Woo.
Claps. Woo.
Claps.
No. We put out the call for people to vote on various awards, and we're going to go through them right now. First one up, if it wants to let me do this, worst team.
Cumberland.
The nominees for this. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
When I think of bad teams, I think of Georgia Tech beating up on Cumberland. It was a fond memory. I was there 100 years ago. But your nominees are Florida State, the Sam Houston Bearcats, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, the UMass Minutemen, my mid-team, Michigan, Oklahoma, and is Michigan. It's not supposed to be Michigan State, Oklahoma State, Norfolk State, and Florida. Ciarnan, what are your thoughts on the nominees? Anyone should be here who's not? Anyone who is here who shouldn't be?
I'm going to say Michigan shouldn't be here. Despite their poor performance this year and the whole Sharon Moore thing, I don't think that they're the worst team. You could do much, much worse in terms of overall play. Oklahoma State, I like that one because they were so bad. And because they should be much better, I think is the kind of metric that this person was going for. I will say one team that I really think should be there is Colorado under Deion Sanders, because you go from 10-2 last year. I understand you lost your two big guys. off to the NFL, blah, 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 blah. But your whole thing was the portal. You're telling me you couldn't recreate at least a 6-6 record or a 6-7 record and get back into a bowl game at minimum? They went 3-9 this year. I feel like that's a qualifier for the worst team.
Yeah, I feel like Colorado, you could argue, should go into that most disappointing team, which is the next award,
Fair
actually.
enough.
I think Rutgers shouldn't be here at all. They went 5-7. It's Rutgers. They might as well have won the Natty.
And also, one more thing with UMass. That's shooting fish in a barrel. Like, that is the easiest pick. I want teams that are actually really bad when they should be good.
I feel like that would be more disappointing, though, than bad. This is like worse, like painful to watch.
Actively terrible. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. All right, Ciarnan, who do you think won the award?
I mean, it's probably the only winless team on there, surely.
Norfolk State only beat a D2 school.
It's a win. A win's a win.
That's true. UMass didn't get to play any D2 schools. So UMass is your guess?
Yeah.
You are correct. The UMass Minutemen won the award for worst team in the country this year.
Nice.
Moving on to the next one. Most disappointing team.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna throw out my it's up there.
Was it gonna be Penn State?
It's gonna be Penn State. It's South Carolina, Alabama, Clemson, Texas A&M, Penn State, Clemson, and LSU. It has to be Penn State. The amount of hype that went into Penn State's season, only for it to end in arguable absolute disaster. Yeah.
I don't disagree with you whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
I think Alabama is a weird inclusion considering they made the playoffs, and I think Texas A&M is also a weird inclusion because they made the playoffs. I do think Alabama was more disappointing this year than Texas A&M. Clemson, LSU, Penn State, and South Carolina, though, I do all think were justifiable inclusions.
Yeah, the only reason I would say LSU shouldn't be up there is because they had Brian Kelly as the coach, so it's almost like expected.
LSU fans are delusional.
Okay, fair enough. And Clemson is the other one. Clemson, I understand because they went from a preseason rank of 4 to unranked, right? So fair enough. But like, the hype wasn't behind the team to begin with. Like, everyone saw the preseason rank of 4 and it's just like, not this year. Not like, you don't have, you didn't go into the portal. You didn't get anybody. You've played Klubnik as your quarterback, who's decent, but he's not gonna do anything for you. So I don't think Clemson would be a disappointing season.
Yeah, I agree, but Ciarnan, you did call it.
Yeah,
it was Penn State.
Oh God, deservedly so.
Well, you always have next year, Ciarnan.
Yeah, okay.
They'll be better next year. I don't think they'll be as good as the hype, but they'll be better.
Yeah. All right.
Next up, the second best team. We have Miami, Montana State, Ohio State, and Ole Miss.
Great choice. Love the inclusion of Montana State there. Oh, this is going to be a good one, and I don't know.
I think it's unfair including Montana State, to be honest. I think saying just because they're FCS, they are inherently not as good as Indiana is unfair. They did win the FCS championship, but I think Miami's an obvious inclusion.
Yep.
They played in the Natty. They did play Indiana very tightly. Ohio State, I don't know why they're there. They lost to another team on this list. Same thing with Ole Miss.
Yeah, actually, I don't mind Ohio State and Ole Miss being in here because, I mean, Ohio State they did win. They did make it into the college football playoff. They gave it a fair chance. Ole Miss I like as well as a second best team, only because of the kind of loss that they had with Lane Kiffin just like upping and leaving right before the playoffs, and for them to still be really, really solid in terms of an overall organization, I think is a credit to them. I have a feeling Jared probably spammed this and just said Miami a bunch of times. So I'm gonna
like 50 times. Yeah. That's fair. And you would be right.
There you go.
The U did win second best team. They got about 45% of the vote. Ohio State got about 27, and then 9 for Montana State and Ole Miss. And by the way, someone was confused by the assignment and did vote for a bunch of NFL teams. I did exclude those.
That's really funny.
I'm not going to name names. I know who.
No. That's gold.
But all right, moving on to the best moment of the regular season. I forgot to change the background on this. That's on me. But a lot of different nominations for this one. A&M's comeback versus Notre Dame, Mendoza touchdown versus Penn State, just the entire Kent State season. Brian Kelly's firing, Alabama beating Georgia, UCLA beating Penn State, and Delaware upsetting UConn. Oh, Virginia over Florida State, double overtime as well. The list was getting way too long.
Okay, gotcha. This is a good one. The UCLA beating Penn State was big for UCLA. I don't know if I would define it as the best moment because Penn State was already on the downward trajectory by the time the UCL played.
Agreed.
That being said, it was their first win of the season. Alabama beating Georgia, I don't feel like that one should win, only because whenever Alabama and Georgia play, they always play each other close. Or at least it brings out the best competition. Brian Kelly firing, massive. Agreed. Mendoza touchdown versus Penn State. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that's fair. The A&M comeback. I'm going to have to go with the A&M comeback. I think that one arguably was the best in this list.
I think I forgot to include it. I'm sorry. Like I said, let's get too long. The Virginia over Florida State double overtime win.
That's a good huge one too.
I think the Mendoza touchdown, that really signified like, oh, Indiana's actually good. And then, of course, Penn State fell apart the rest of the way.
Yeah.
So not great. But Delaware upsetting UConn is big as well. They had a pretty good season. I don't think they had a terrible season, though. So, but there was actually a tie for this one, Ciarnan.
Oh, okay.
The Brian Kelly firing.
All right, fair enough.
Was one of them. And then the Marcel Reed Texas A&M comeback. I think it was like 2 for each, 2 for Brian Kelly, 2 for this. So about 20% each. But yeah, I think both moments were great. I hate Brian Kelly with a burning passion. I also hate Notre Dame, I hate Notre Dame and Texas A&M, but I hate Texas A&M less than Notre Dame.
There you go.
Next up, the most pretentious fan base.
Yeah, that graphic says it all. Yeah. Oh, the SEC.
Just the SEC in general was one of the nominations.
Yeah.
Notre Dame, Ohio State, Alabama. Someone got a vote in late because some of these I hadn't seen before. Miami was also on there, but so who do you think won, Ciarnan?
I mean, it's got to be Notre Dame, right? Like, yeah, there it is.
I could call this the Notre Dame Award. I think that's what we will call it going forward.
Yes, we will, because they were so insufferable when the final playoff came out, and you're just like, no, you don't. You lost. Like what part of this is unclear to you?
Yeah,
I just and to make matters worse, that Miami made it all the way to the national championship is just like, okay, you can sit down now. All right, Grandpa, you've had your fun.
Like a lot of the teams they complained about got through to later rounds. Alabama got through to later rounds. Miami got through to later rounds. So yeah, you also could have called this the most delusional fan base award. Same thing.
Yeah.
But God, I hate Notre Dame.
I do like the inclusion
Moving
of the
on.
SEC though. I thought that was funny.
That was a good one. That was a good
good.
one. That was a good little inclusion. I was a
I
fan
didn't
of
think
that.
about that. I didn't think about that in fairness. I was thinking like strictly like actual teams, but it actually makes a lot more sense that it's the SEC.
Yeah. Next up, the Skip Bayless Award for worst media personality. We got a lot of different votes on this.
Ooh.
Paul Feinbaum, Colin Cowherd, Heather Dinich, Joey Galloway, Stephen A. Smith, and when Peter is not on game day. Ciarnan, who do you think is walking away with this illustrious award?
Okay. I mean, it should be no Peter, but I am going to assume that Feinbaum definitely won this award because he is arguably way worse than all of those. Like Stephen A is close, but Feinbaum has just been preaching nonsense all year. I mean, so is Stephen A, but to a lesser degree.
I think the problem with Stephen A and Cowherd is they don't really follow or know college football.
That's
so
true.
when they talk about it, it's so annoying. Heather Dinich is infuriating because she just seemingly hates a bunch of random teams, but then when Indiana wins the Natty, she doesn't post for 2 weeks after. As an ESPN college football insider, I didn't really get the Joey Galloway hate. Like, I don't think he's great by any means, but I don't think he's awful.
Yeah, he's not. I mean, maybe it just thinks he's annoying.
Yeah, that could be it.
Yeah,
but it is the Turtle Man himself, if it wants to go.
Yeah,
Paul Feinbaum. Paul Feinbaum. And as someone who is a fan of an SEC team and also who Paul Feinbaum loves Alabama, I can't stand him sometimes. He's so annoying. He's unbelievably biased towards the SEC, and it seems like nobody else can even come close in his mind, even though the Big Ten has won 3 straight natties.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to say like the Big Ten has taken over the SEC in terms of like the best conference or whatever, because it's still a massive long shot. But I will say this, that the Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio State, those 3 teams the past 3 years have been awesome. They have been so good for their individual years. You know, granted, they'll drop after the next season. Ohio State really doesn't. They're kind of the Alabama of the Big Ten. But, you know, it's there. He's annoying to the point where it's like, okay, you're so blatantly biased. It's honestly not even fun to support the SEC anymore. Like, I want some animosity there.
That's fair. Karen, are we going to just start arguing about conferences next year?
I hope not. Because I am a realist with the Big Ten. We might have won the last 3 natties. I would still not want to play an SEC school
That's
down
fair.
south.
I do think the SEC is the best conference, but I'm not an SEC fan. I like Alabama. I'm a dick about being an Alabama fan, but I'm not an SEC fan.
Right.
I like Alabama, and the rest of the SEC can go screw themselves. I don't care how they do.
Yeah, exactly.
With some exceptions. Like if they're playing Ohio State or something. That maybe, but
yeah.
Depends. Next up, if it wants to, the Lee Corso Award for Best Media Personality. Had to have him in the Indiana sweater.
Of course.
Marty Smith, Kirk Herbstreit, Nick Saban, Peter, Gary Danielson, Holly Rowe, Josh Pate, Greg McElroy, and Pat McAfee. I'm shocked Reese Davis isn't on this.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm not shocked Desmond Howard isn't on it. I hate Greg McElroy, by the way. Greg McElroy is so upset that Alabama had so much success without him, and he is not liked. Like, if you ask a lot of Alabama fans to rank Alabama quarterbacks, understatement, he would probably be last.
That's cool.
Like, I think Blake Sims would be ahead of him. Blake Sims is very underrated, but I also love Marty Smith. I think everything Marty Smith does is good.
Yeah, the whole thing with the Ole Miss LSU thing, where he was basically locked in the Ole Miss compound for like 48 hours, and the poor dude's just like, please let this be over.
Yeah, he's like, I miss my wife and kids. Can I go home?
An understandable reaction.
Yeah, yeah, and then of course Pat McAfee ripping his shirt off every week.
Yeah, that's funny. Go on.
Who do you think won? I know who won. I put this together, but
yeah, you know what? I'm gonna maybe sidestep the winner, but I think Josh Pate should be the winner here because he has had some great takes about fixing the transfer portal, fixing the playoff, fixing the NCAA, and he is what Kirk Herbstreit and Joel Klatt wants to be and or should be. So my vote is for Josh Pate.
That is fair. Unfortunately, it was the shirtless man himself, Pat McAfee.
That's fine. That's an understandable win.
That's fair. I wasn't surprised to see that. Next up, you have the Doink Award for worst kicker in the country. You have Connor Talty, Derek Morris, any A&M quarterback, Caleb Ojeda, Dominic Zavada, Jaden Fielding, and Carter Davis. I hate Connor Talty with every fiber of my being. He is terrible. He brought me nothing but pain this year. It reached points where I was talking about him to my wife, and she's like, Kevin, please calm down. He is still a child.
Kevin, I just do not care.
Kickers are the kind of player that you shouldn't know your team's kicker's name.
Yeah.
If you do, there is something wrong. They are really bad at their job. Ciarnan, what are your thoughts on kickers?
My thoughts on kickers is they're still an essential part of the game. Like, I think for kickers to have a sort of swag to them can be fun to an extent, but they can't be cocky about it.
That's fair. Kickers are like carbon monoxide alarms. You should have one. They're important, but if you know about it, if you can tell what's going on with it in that moment, there's a problem.
That's a good one.
And the worst kicker, the Doink Award goes to Derek Morris of UMass. He hit like 86.7% of his extra point attempts, which was the lowest in FBS this year. And he hit like 62.5% of field goals. It's hard to say that he's the reason UMass didn't win a game, but he definitely is the reason, or a reason they couldn't win one game.
All right, fair enough. Oh, that's good.
Next up, best guest. We had 3 this year: Jared, DJ, and Kelsey, while Ciarnan was away doing his own thing. I'm not going to make you comment on each guest, Ciarnan, and have you. I'm not going to comment on each guest. I appreciate all of them coming on. Everyone should check out the Corner Booth with Jared and High-Low Sports with DJ and Kelsey. High-Low goes live at like 8 on Wednesdays, and Corner Booth goes live, I think, Monday night and Thursday. So go check them out. The winner was DJ from High-Low Sports.
Woo! Go DJ.
Shout out DJ. Dog of the year. I didn't make a full graphic for this. We all know the winner is Peter. Some other nominees were, if it wants to load, Aurea, which is War Eagle 8. Someone kept meaning to vote for Sharon Moore for things, but they wrote Shamar Moore, like the actor from NCIS, which I found funny. A caveat on this was dog or human, or animal or human. Reve was one. Ralphie 6, Ty Simpson, and Trinidad Chambliss. And of course, Peter. Peter's the winner with like 80% of the vote. Oh, Lane Kiffin was also a nominee for Dog of the Year. But yeah, Peter, Dog of the Year. The Joey Freshwater Award for biggest scandal. You had nominees, Ciarnan Moore, just that whole thing.
Ex-Lambo stolen.
Carson Beck getting his Lambo stolen, and Carson Beck cheating on the Cavender that brought him to Miami. Ciarnan, who do you think is the biggest scandal?
I mean, it's probably Ciarnan Moore, but it would be so much more funny if it was Beck's Lambo being stolen.
It was Ciarnan Moore. I debated using his mugshot for this, but like that might be too far. I might get an angry message from someone at Belly Up about that. Another one I did not make this graphic for. Trader Award for biggest portal flip or coach movement. It was Lane Kiffin by far.
Yeah.
So since the Joey Freshwater Award, I figured it would be fitting to just announce that at the same time. Next up, the Tailgate Award for the Player of the Year, Ciarnan.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
4 really big finalists. Fernando Mendoza, obviously. Bo Brungard for Youngstown State.
Okay.
You gotta love the Penguins. Malachi Toney from the U, and Trinidad Chambliss from Ole Miss. Ciarnan, who do you think won the Tailgate Award for Player of the Year?
I don't think it's Fernando. And not because he, won the Heisman or for whatever reason. He was brilliant all year. I think this is more to do with the fact that I don't think he would want to win this award. I think he's too much of a team player, and I think he would probably pass this award to his center, Pat Coogan. With that being said, I am gonna throw one out, and I'm gonna say Malachi Toney.
Well, Ciarnan, you were right in it not being Fernando. It was Bo Brungard for Youngstown State. It was Fernando with 70% of the vote.
That was great. I was like, oh wow, that's a twist.
I was shocked one person voted for Bo. I can't imagine more than that with guys like Fernando on the list. Fernando came away with about 70% of the vote. Malachi Toney, 9.1%, same as Trinidad Chambliss, and Bo Brungard. There you have it.
Yeah.
That is the Tailgate Awards, Ciarnan. Any shocks for you?
Not really, no. I think maybe the not the Doink Award. I forget which one, but one of them, one of the earlier ones.
Most Pretentious Fanbase. You're shocked it's Notre Dame.
Oh yeah, that's the one. No. Best media personality, I think. While McAfee kind of made sense, I'm still like, he's fun and he rips off his shirt, but like, is he the best? Interesting.
That's true. I think the best media personality one, the Lee Corso Award, no one on that list was why are they here?
Right.
But yeah, I don't want to say how the voting went for best guest because someone will get offended.
Then don't say it to begin with.
I'll tell you after the show. All right, Ciarnan, I think that's our show for the week. I think a little shorter episode to send us off into the off season after the Natty is over. Like we said last week, we're probably going to take a couple weeks off here, regroup, re-get our bearings, maybe try to line up some guests. And yeah, Ciarnan, anything you want to talk about before we get on out of here for a little break?
The only thing I'll say is that with this whole transfer portal thing, if there is any more chaos in the weeks that we miss, because I know it's closed now, or it's closing this week. Anyway,
you can no longer enter, but if you're still in it, you can still sign.
Right. That's what I thought. if anything crazy happens, we're gonna have to do a quick session or something. But like,
I'm not above an emergency pod.
Yes, an emergency podcast. It's gonna be wild next year with all these contracts being void, essentially, or just nobody's paying attention to them anymore. It's gonna be wild, the things we're gonna see before spring training.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be crazy. I'm glad the portal's closed, but also I'm scared of what's gonna come next. But yeah, so if anything crazy happens, we'll try to do an emergency pod, but otherwise we'll see you after the Super Bowl, maybe in March. We'll figure it out. I still haven't made a decision on that, but everyone have a good, safe, fun off season. Don't drink too much, and if you do, make sure you don't drive. And yeah, see ya.
They're eating the dogs, Ciarnan, in Tuscaloosa.
They're eating the dogs.
You know that?
They were
They're
eating
the dogs.
Oh, a meth raccoon.
Yeah.
Just awful. There is nothing good about this. It's the worst possible scenario for the CFP, for the national championship.
Notre Dame is a mid-program with really good marketing.
And the Michigan players are going to look at that, and anybody who's committing to Michigan in the next years will just go, I want to beat them even more. Like, I wanted to beat them when I first came to the school. Recruits are going to see this.
You have, as some fans have put it, a mascot flashing their pop tussie out. Oh,
God, that's going to be part of our intro next year. Oh,